Let me show you 4 timeline hacks to edit 10 times faster in Premiere Pro. Let's go through 4 powerful timeline hacks inside Premiere Pro that will make you edit dramatically faster. These are the kinds of workflow tricks that editors use every day without thinking, and once you start applying them, your timeline will feel lighter, smoother, and far easier to navigate. I'll explain each method in a clean, natural workflow so you can follow along without stopping or rewinding. The fastest way to cut. One of the biggest time killers in editing is constantly selecting clips, cutting them, deleting gaps, and dragging the timeline around. Most beginners don't realize that Premiere gives you a tool that removes entire steps automatically. The trick is to use Ripple Edit and Ripple Trim instead of regular cuts. When you want to remove a section, simply place your playhead at the cut point, press Q to ripple trim to the left, or W to ripple trim to the right, and Premiere instantly removes the unwanted part and closes the gap in one motion. This eliminates dragging, selecting, and deleting. If you want even faster control, switch to the Trim tool by holding your cursor at the edge of a clip. Once you see the red arrow icon, you can drag the clip shorter or longer while automatically pulling the whole timeline with it. This keeps your edit tight and prevents empty spaces from appearing every time you adjust a clip. If you're trimming dialogue, music, interviews, or B-roll, this single workflow change can easily speed up your timeline work by 10 times. Quick replacements, using the swap edit technique. Another timeline hack that saves massive time is the swap edit technique. Instead of dragging clips around and moving every other clip out of the way, you can instantly swap the position of 2 clips without breaking your sequence. To use this, hold down Control on Windows or Command on Mac, click the clip you want to move, and drag it over the clip you want to replace. Premiere instantly swaps their positions without overwriting or pushing anything else. This is a lifesaver when reorganizing B-roll or replacing shots inside a montage, because it keeps your timing, your audio alignment, and your transitions untouched. If you want even more control, drag a clip while holding Alt on Windows or Option on Mac. This duplicates it instantly right inside the timeline, allowing you to reuse assets without searching through folders. Combining swap edits with drag duplication gives you a fast, fluid timeline that never breaks your sequence. This technique is especially powerful for creators working with reels, short videos, talking head edits, or music-driven cuts where timing matters. Custom presets, nesting, and streamlined reuse. If you constantly add the same effects, motion keyframes, color adjustments, zoom-ins, or transitions to multiple clips, applying them one by one wastes a huge amount of time. This is where presets and nesting come in. Start by selecting a clip that already has the effect stack you like. Open the Effect Controls panel, highlight everything you want to reuse: keyframes, lumetri settings, transform effects, or position animations. Right-click and choose Save Preset, then name it something simple like Zoom in Slow or Cinematic Punch. Now whenever you need the same effect, drag your preset from the Effects panel onto any clip, and it applies instantly. If you have multiple clips that need the same treatment but must stay together, like a camera movement, a subtle zoom, a title with background graphics, or a speed-ramped sequence, select all the clips, right-click, and choose Nest. Nesting turns the selected clips into one sequence you can treat as a single unit. Now you can add color, zooms, transitions, or effects to the entire group at once instead of doing it one clip at a time. This saves an enormous amount of editing time, especially if you handle complex layers or cinematic sequences. Ultra-fast timeline navigation, using labels, markers, and shortcuts. Editors waste more time navigating the timeline than actually editing it. Fixing that starts with labels. Select the clips you want to organize, right-click, and change the label color. For example, set all A roll to one color, B roll to another, music to another, and sound effects to another color entirely. This makes the timeline readable at a glance and eliminates hunting for clips. Once clips are color-coded, use markers to speed up your workflow even more. Press M on your keyboard to drop markers during playback wherever you want cuts, transitions, beats, or notes. Each marker becomes a visual anchor point so you can edit with rhythm instead of guessing the timing. If you press M twice, you can rename the marker, add comments, or assign a color, which is extremely useful for longer timelines. Combine this with the sequence zoom shortcuts. Press backslash to fit the entire timeline on the screen, or press the plus and minus keys to glide through the timeline precisely. When you combine markers, labels, and navigation shortcuts, your editing becomes 10 times more fluid because your eyes and fingers move through the timeline effortlessly. Extra tips. One thing that instantly speeds up your workflow is creating a clean workspace. Go to Window, choose Workspaces, and set a layout where your project panel, timeline, and effect controls are all visible without overlapping. Save this as a custom workspace so you never waste time rearranging windows again. Another huge time saver is keeping commonly used effects in a Favorites folder inside the Effects panel. Create a new custom bin, drag your most used effects, like Transform, Lumetri Color, Gaussian Blur, Directional Blur, and your saved presets. And now you have a one-click location for everything you apply regularly. You can also mute or disable clips temporarily to reduce microlag while editing. Click on the eye icon to disable the timeline, making Premiere more responsive if you're working with heavy files. If you start using ripple trims instead of normal cuts, swap edits instead of dragging clips around, custom presets to automate your effects, and color-coded labels combined with markers to navigate your timeline, your editing speed will jump immediately. These timeline hacks remove dozens of small, tedious steps that slow editing down, and they give you a workflow that feels clean, controlled, and professional. Once you begin using these 4 techniques every day, you'll notice that your timeline becomes easier to manage, your edits stay organized, and your speed jumps massively without needing any plugins. If you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel for more tips and tricks.